Good morning. This morning I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our Convo speaker, Georgie Maricic. I distinctly remember meeting Georgie in the ad building in the summer of 2004, shortly before classes began. And in the next 3 years, I had many interactions with Georgie in the classroom and outside of the classroom. During those years that Georgie was a student here at Bethel, he was very involved in the life of the Bethel community. He was a member of the soccer team, men's soccer team. He worked in the library, he worked for AV. He was the leader of the International Student Club, among many other things. I could go on and list many things there. During that time, he also overcame some unanticipated financial hurdles but was able to graduate within 3 years with majors in communication arts and German. While at Bethel, he worked at 2 of the local radio or TV stations in Wichita, Channel 3 and Channel 12, as part of his communication arts internship, and following graduation also as a regular job for a period of time. In the fall of 2007, he returned to his homeland, Serbia, and became a bit of a star there, in that he and his partner became finalists for the Eurovision Song Contest. And those of you who know anything about that, or I know there's some Europeans here, know what that's all about. And there was a competition, and probably if one would dig deep enough, you could find some YouTube videos of them. After the Eurovision competition, he remained in Serbia and worked in the TV sector for about 3 years. In 2010, he established Maverick Consulting, which became fully operational then in 2011, with a focus on organization development, business promotion, and corporate health. As a trainer, coach, and facilitator, he's led many seminars and workshops in Serbia, Austria, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, working with top managers and teams and leaders with a focus on communication. He delivers highly rated trainings in presentation skills, media appearances, priority management, motivation, and team building. After becoming an NBI, meaning Needling Brain Instrument Administrator, he participated in the translation and adaptation of this tool for the Serbian language. In 2014, he became a certified autonomous talent feedback coach and licensed partner for Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, and Macedonia. One major international organization with whom his company works is the Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit, a German corporation similar to our own USAID organization. On the lighter side, I could probably give you some personal stories about Georgie, since he lived with us for a summer, in the summer of 2015. 5, yes, sorry. One of those was he was on a trip to Colorado with sort of host parents from Wichita who were here also, and the morning before they left, they had a dog with them. The dog had an encounter with a skunk, which they then tried to clean, but they had to bring the dog back, and about 8 hours in a vehicle with a dog that had been sprayed by a skunk was probably not the most pleasant experience. He came back to our place and immediately threw everything in the washer and hit the shower. There are many other things I could tell you, and there are other people who could just as well have introduced him this morning. He's been very helpful when Mark Jansen has taken some of his interterm trips to Europe. He's been their guide when they were in Serbia and Belgrade. So this morning, we have the pleasure of having Georgie address us on the topic communication and thinking preferences. It's going to be a bit of an interactive presentation, so please help me welcome Georgie and give him a great Bethel welcome.
Well, good morning, Threshers. I heard you more. Good morning, Threshers. Good morning. Well, thank you. And thank you, Merle, for a nice introduction. Yes, that's skunk. Woo. Did anyone drive by a feedlot ever? You did? Great. It's bad, right? Well, when you're driving with the skunk smell in your car, the feedlot smells much better, trust me. But anyway, thank you all for showing up. I know you were really eager to come this morning, right? You love Convo, not because it's mandatory, just it's because the way it goes, right? Not? Okay, that's fine. Anyway, I have a couple of logos here. Bethel College, yes, I graduated in '07. Fond memories, and I always have my Bethel here with me. Any training I do, any important event I go to, I have my button here. Because the main thing is community, but that's not what I'm going to be talking about. I want to talk about two things that got my business up, and I got it also from Bethel College. And those things, those two things, I would also like you to think about. Because by the end of this convo, I would like you to have some fun, but also to think about where you want to go. What will be two things you get out of Bethel College experience? So what could those two things be? Flipping burgers at Fall Fest for International Student Club, and hosting Mark Jansen and students from Bethel College in Belgrade, right? No. Okay, so let's get serious. What kind of questions are you asked by your professors at Bethel College? Who wants to answer that? What kind of questions? Who wants to answer that? Any professor wants to say what kind of questions are you asking your students? What kind of questions? There you go. I see you're moving your mouth. You might want to share that with us.
What kind of question?
Yeah. What kind of questions? Just.
What's the difference between an ionotropic and metabotropic receptor?
Okay. I'm not sure I understand that, but okay. But what kind of question is that? Why would they ask you those questions, and how do they ask them?
Why it wants you to know about the brain.
Okay. In which way?
So that you have a better understanding of it.
Yeah, but they make you do what?
Answer the question?
You have to think first, right?
Correct.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Okay. So they ask us questions in such a way that we have to think, right? Why do they ask us such questions and in such a way? To think, but in which way? There you go. What's your name, buddy? Luke? Okay.
The more open-ended the question is, the deeper you think, which makes you think of all the possibilities.
Oh, okay.
It leads to critical thinking, which doesn't always just would work within the field you're studying, but it helps with all kinds of parts in life.
Wow, I'll give a round of applause for that. Thank you, Luke. Exactly. And why is that important? Why is that important? Why is that important? Critical thinking, and you said for other things in life, right? Which means also kind of being creative, finding solutions, right? Looking for solutions. Why is that important? Who's going to share that with us? There you go, and your name is? Eric?
Garrett.
Sorry, Garrett.
So the reason why open-ended questions are important and critical thinking is such a big deal is because in life, you aren't given 4 answers that you have to choose one from. Life happens and you have to be able to roll with it and come up with your own solutions.
Okay, okay. A lot of things happen in life, right? And you need to be able to grasp all that and then come up with those solutions, right? Right. Few things happened to me as well. You heard some small thing that happened to me coming to Bethel on a promise that I'll get a full ride, and look at that. I didn't get it. But I was able, with the support of this community, to graduate within 3 years. And we did all kinds of critical thinking and creative thinking in order to achieve that goal. But when it comes to my business, creative and critical thinking would help me to set specific goals. Exactly what I want to do. I want to have premium products that can empower people and organizations to grow. But also, I can get better understanding of my own environment. Because one of the experiences I got from Bethel was exactly that. Living here in the US. And I'm sure all of you know where Serbia is, right? All of you. The Swedes are not included here. It enabled me to see where I'm coming from and what it means to you, to me. Enabled me to see also where I'm living and what is this community like. Very different than mine. And with critical and creative thinking, I find ways to grow. I see opportunities. I see challenges through which I get an opportunity to further grow. I don't see problems. And everything is a problem when you first look at it, right? Every bump on the road, every man standing in front of you, Luke, I guess, kind of is a problem. But you need to see a way how to get around him or put him down. There we go. And the bottom line is getting what you want. And what you want from Bethel is your thing. But I promise you, you'll get an awesome academic and community experience. One that you get once in a lifetime. Trust me on that. So, 2 things I got out of Bethel through that is also I got to this thinking preference tool that I would like to share with you a little bit. And I got also organizational development diagnostics tool, which was made in South Africa, developed by Dr. Kobus Needling, and the other one was developed by a Hungarian team, both involved in organizational development and IT industry. So, thinking preferences. Another question for you. What influences the world you see around you? What things influence the world you see around yourself? John, you want to share that with us?
My experiences.
Experiences, okay. What else?
Your culture.
Culture, yes. What else? People you associate with, which would be, yeah, kind of, again, with the culture combined. But that's it, yeah. What else? Yes? Okay. I'm fine too. Glad you are as well. So, things that we talk about are, we said culture, we said experience, but there is also education, socioeconomic status, but also gender. And those things, I'm sure you can agree that we can kind of evaluate empirically and understand, okay, this is the culture I'm coming from, I got this far with my education, or that, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there is also one more thing, and those are thinking preferences. The way our brain is wired, both partially from nature and nurture. And I just want to share some basic concepts of it and try to get you self-evaluate what kind of brain preferences you might have. So, the basic concept, and I'm sure you all learned about that or heard about that, we have like a left and right hemisphere, right? And there are certain processes that are more dominant thinking processes in the left hemisphere and some in the right hemisphere, right? And this research was done in the 80s. A lot of research has been done in the 80s and on, especially thanks to the MRI. They were able to locate certain processes within the brain. And then we have this cognitive pattern of thinking that is processed here in the fourth, or how do you say it, forehead part of cortex, right? Thank you. And the affective that goes around here back, right? So, the left hemisphere, I don't know if any one of you had met a person who went through a stroke, but if the left part of the brain is hit by a stroke, the right part of the body is not quite well working. But the processes that are happening in the left brain enables that person for the first time of the recovery, during the recovery, to communicate distinctly. It enables that person to communicate logically. And those are the processes you can see that are happening on your left hemisphere. So the people who prefer to think with their left hemisphere prefer to think more critically, more analytically. They prefer to understand their presence based on the past, based on data, to be as precise as possible. On the other hand, we have the right brainers, or the right hemisphere, and they're more focused on shapes, images, creativity. Those patients usually, for the first couple of days of the recovery, sometimes don't even recognize their own family members. And that's because of those kind of processes are happening there, mostly. And they love to imagine things. They love to see where they're going to be in the future based on where they are right now. And that's more kind of a creative way of thinking. So, what this tool does, it doesn't measure your skill set. It doesn't matter to what extent you're skillful in certain things. It measures only to what extent you prefer to think in one way over the other. Okay? So it just measures the preference of thinking. I need 2 volunteers right now so we can demonstrate how it works. Who wants to come up? I have a pen. You want to come up, please? Who else? Your name is? Jordan. Okay. Come up, please. Here's one pen for you. Okay, I'll just draw a line here in the middle. Okay. Hi, how are you? What's your name?
Elijah.
Elijah. So, Elijah, please stand on this side. Jordan, you stand on this side. No, here. Here's the pen. Just stand here, please. Here. Oh, you can because of the cable. Come over here then. Sorry. I didn't see that.
It's okay.
So, what I'm going to ask you, Jordan, stand here. I'm going to ask you use your part of the sheet and write today's date, where we at, and sign it. Just on your piece of paper, right? Or part of the paper. Now look at this, all of you, how it goes. And sign your name, yes. Yeah, signature. Okay. And where are we at? Convo? Okay. Now you do the same thing with your other hand, please. Oh. You can do it. We still have time. You know, I was also thinking about what I'm going to be talking about for about, 35 minutes, 40 minutes? That's why I got this running. Thank you, Jordan. Just keep on doing. I'll stand here. It's a great combo, right? Awesome. Yeah, we still have time. Lunch is almost done. No pressure. Okay. That was a good signature, Jordan. So Elijah, tell me, how did it feel? You can take the mic, please.
Hard.
Hard.
Yes.
Really? Well,
Yes.
I wasn't specific enough, but how did it feel with your dominant hand?
Oh, easy.
That's how we're going to call it.
Simple.
Simple, easy. How did it feel for you? Yeah?
Fluent?
Fluent?
Yeah.
Yes? Did you put much thought into it?
No.
So without thinking, right? How was the opposite hand?
Not easy.
Not easy. Well, hard,
Yes.
hard. Why?
Because the side of the brain that I was using to write it isn't as developed as the other one, as it would be with my dominant hand, I would imagine. Right?
Well,
Or also
I mean,
because
you-
I don't use this hand a lot to write. I
you
mean,
said that part of the brain is not developed. I didn't.
oh,
Okay? It's your preference. So you're probably brought up to use one hand more over the other, or when you're a kid and playing, that's the first hand you were grabbing stuff with to do stuff, right? How much energy did you invest in this for the second hand, for non-dominant hand?
None.
You didn't invest any energy?
No.
You said for the dominant hand or non-dominant hand?
For the non-dominant hand.
So it was-
both hands.
it
I
was
already
easy.
knew that it was going to be bad for the other hand.
Oh, so it doesn't look as pretty as well, huh?
Yeah, so I just,
But it looks pretty good
thank you.
to me. Yeah. So maybe you can use both hands equally well. What do you think? Huh? Could you use both hands equally well?
depends on what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, I guess. Good answer. Good answer. But for writing, let's say for writing.
Clearly, no. I couldn't.
You couldn't?
Like, no. I mean, I guess.
Well, if you would work on that, like let's say for 3 months or 6 months, that you use only your non-dominant hand, do you think you could become better?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. So we need to think when we need to use our non-dominant hand, right?
Yes.
Okay. How was this for you?
Exhilarating.
Oh, okay. Well, let's give them a round of applause, and thanks for participating. So, it's her birthday? Well, we'll sing that later then, okay? I'll plan some time for that. That's what we do back home, you know, we sing happy birthday songs. So, we were talking about hands, right? If you would practice to use your non-dominant hand for 3 to 6 months, you could pretty much become fluent in writing as you are with your right hand. The same thing goes with thinking processes. Some things are right now very hard for you, right? Especially your freshman year. Some things were pretty hard. But after a time, they become easy or not as hard as they used to. It's also when we play sports, the same thing. Some techniques we're using or some things that we need to practice at the beginning are not as easy. But we need to put what? A lot of effort or a lot of thought into making things happen. But by understanding ourselves and our thinking preferences, it will be also easier for you to understand when are you getting involved into easy things mine is right dominant hand, or hard things. And it will enable you to plan your time when you need an hour to finish something or 5 days to finish something. Happens, right? So, basically what Dr. Cobus Needling did, he made this pretty easy to understand. And on this slide, you can see the L, where it stands for the left hemisphere, R stands for the right hemisphere, and 1 is the cognitive, 2 is the affective way of thinking. The L ones usually are interested in questions such as, what's going on? What do you want? What? The main question for them. The L2s are asking, how's that working? How are we going to solve this? What's the process going to look like? The R ones are thinking of, why do we need that? Why do we need to go to Convo? They're asking what-if questions. And the R2s are asking, who's going to be involved? Who's going to be impacted by my decisions or decisions of my team leader? So, officially, I'm asking you to use your cell phones now. Because I would like all of you to write down on your cell phones, because I assume you didn't bring pen and paper with you. Or you might. If you prefer pen and paper, use that. If not, use your cell phone. And write down all the words that describe you the best. You don't have to write all of them, but if you feel they do, then write all of them. But write down all the words that describe you the best. I'll give you 2 minutes for that, or less, a minute. Okay, here is the next one. Put it back. Just hurry up. We gave Jordan too much time, I guess. Okay, let's go to the next one. As you got it as much as you could. These are the L2s. I'm going to move to the next one in 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to move to the next one and the last one. Huggers, yeah, usually come here. Okay. Are we good? Now think about each of the quadrants. So we had all 4 quadrants. This is 1, L1, L2, R1, R2. which one describes you the best? Well, you just write it down somewhere for yourself, and we need all four sorted in an order that it comes like best describing me is this one, then a little bit less this one, even lesser that one. Okay? Are we good? I'll give you another chance to think about it because this is telling you what the L ones are all about. And make sure now you kind of get into it and make sure that you rearrange your order if necessary. So, the L ones are usually focused on goals and performance. They love to be right. Oh yeah, right? They love to be right because they think they got all the data, they got it all figured out, and that's it. They always ask what's the point and things like that, so they love to be rational. The L2s love processes. They love being on time, and you being on time as well. They love that even more. They are great implementers. They love consistency. They love finding tweaks so they can fix them. The R ones are about freedom, asking why not questions, challenging, etc., etc., etc. Not always being very, on time, but very creative. And the R2s love to understand other people's perspectives. They are able to empathize. They want a harmony. They want everyone to feel well, everyone to feel good, and to be on the same page, if possible. That's their priority. Now rethink and put it in order if you're more L or R. So I would like to see if your top two are L's, or if you think you're more on the left brain side or on the right brain side. This is very important to finish because we have a few more things that we need to get done before we are open for Q&As. Or for the next activity, maybe. And that's probably more going to be like it. So, the L's, raise your hand, please. Okay. The L's. The R's. Okay. Good. Thank you. So, this tool has been proven all over the world. We did more than 2 million assessments. So there is no question about race, gender, culture, whatever. It's just the way people prefer to think. And I ask you now about the left-brainers and right-brainers because I want to give something to Bethel College to think about. And that means all of you here being present. And how are we going to do that? We're going to use our organizational development diagnostics tool called Quantified Company, developed by Hungarian developers and OD experts. And I would like to L's have answer the first question you're going to see on your screen, and the R's answering the second question that's going to be on your screen. So again, I'll ask you to use your cell phones or tablets because you need to go on www.quantifiedcompany.Bethel-College. We specially made this page for you, and you should be able to see this. Okay, I'll put it back, sorry. So it's quantified.company/Bethel-College. I think that's easy to memorize. And you should see this page. Yeah, it's another one at the top. Thank you. I made sure to put that up, but I guess I forgot that I did. So the L's are answering the first question, which is, what is your best Bethel College experience so far? And the R's are answering the question, what would make your experience at Bethel College even better? And I'm going to try here to see how engaged you are by playing this live for you so you can see your answers coming. You get to put your name in, your email address, and choose a category which you belong to. So you could be a student, staff, or community member. So choose which category you belong to, because we would also like to see different perspectives on that. Okay, so I'm waiting to see the engagement right here, and I'll refresh. Yes, thank you for asking that. The responses are anonymous. No one can see who answered what. Neither I can. So you can say whatever you want, and we'll have people vote on that later on. So first of all, the left-brainers are answering the first question. The right-brainers are answering the second question. You have ability to vote or to rate the answers that will pop up, and then we'll just switch. The left-brainers will vote on the right-brainers and vice versa. I'm still waiting for your answers, I guess. Waiting for opinions. Oh, we have some here. We have some movement here. Good. And we have some movement here, and it's live. Great. So put in the opinions, and let's work on it. I'll give you 2 more minutes. So let's lift up that participation rate. On the first question, please. Okay, one is going loud, and another one is not as much, I guess. So you'll be able to see also who voted. You'll be able to see other people's opinions, but you don't know who answered what, and you can rate them, which is also very important to do, and you'll see why. Now I'll ask you to switch. So if you were the R, go to the first question and rate those. Don't add anything, just rate the opinions of the L's. And I'll ask the L's to go on the second question and rate the opinions of the R's. Please. Are we close to being done? Nope, Okay, let's shut it down. I think we should be good. I think we should be good. Okay. Okay. Whoa! Now look at this. This is what is your best experience, Bethel experience so far? So here we have strong agreement and importance of things that we would or should talk about. And here we have pretty strong disagreement on certain topics that we should also talk about. Let me see. These are things that are not as important to you, but I'll be able to send you all of that. And here are like top 5 answers that are most agreed on. The ability to be my own person and make my own choices. Okay. But let's see by categories here. Should it get up? Up. Nope. I might have to ask for the other one. Okay. So this is the old version to see. We have, only students and all, I guess, as categories. So only students, basically. We don't have enough staff or community members being involved in this, so this is only opinion of students. And we can see basically what we need is here, the importance. I was hoping that community and staff would participate more, so we could see the comparison between those 3 categories on how you see this or how you see certain answers. Here, let's see if we, here are things going on. Okay, that's what I would like to change in the future, right? Let's see if we, what are the first ones? Less debt, I hear you there. Higher paid campus jobs, yeah. But also paycheck for professors, I could agree on that. And let's see if we got something here. No, yeah. Okay. Again, only students. Because staff and community, we needed 5 or more to participate in order to get that comparison.
We are less tech savvy.
Oh.
It's hard to get into it in the time you allow.
Okay. Okay.
I tried, Jordan.
Thank you. So, here are some of the, I'll go back to here. Let me see. Okay, importance. I'll go to here and have you think for a bit. Have you think for a bit about the things you want to talk in the future. I'll be free to share some of it, I guess, with Merle, since he invited me, so he can share it with you. And you can use a few things to talk about in the future, why it makes sense and why it doesn't make sense to do certain things. So you can get most of the agreement on the things in which direction you want to see Bethel College go. So basically, this was the first time we did something like this live. And I really want to thank you for it. And this way, you can start your critical thinking by asking open questions. As I forgot the name. Did I ask the name? Who was there? Garrett. Okay. Asking open questions. That's the way to go. And think about where they're coming from and why are they asked in such a way. So, to take this to a conclusion, by thinking this way and by answering questions as you did now, you can determine your specific goals. Where you want to see yourself here at Bethel College, or where do you want to see Bethel College going to? You can get better understanding of your own environment by also understanding your thinking preferences and understanding how other people are thinking. Thus, you'll have the opportunity to grow, both yourself and your community, because you'll be able to support one another. And the bottom line is getting what you want. So, critical and creative thinking are at least 2 things besides community that you need to take out from your Bethel College experience, in my opinion. And just to close, Here is a little bit for you, not the Swedes and a few other people that know where Serbia is. It's about 15 to 20 hours ride on a plane from Newton or from Wichita. Capital is Belgrade. We have about 2 million population. That's where I'm coming from. So it's quite different than North Newton, Kansas. Really different. And the overall population is 7 plus, almost 8 million. We have flats, we have hills. And what we have at least 3 Thresher fans. Me being one, my daughter, and my wife. However, we have a Husker, potentially. So I really appreciate the opportunity you gave me to talk to you. I hope you had some fun, and I really wish you all the best. Thank you.